Alright, it's me. I'll do you a little video. Just talking about that me pedal that I put up yesterday. So I bought a Boss ES-8 effect switching system. I think most of you are interested in this video, basically know what that is. Plug all your other pedals into it, assign patches, and then it means you can go from having, you know, 2 pedals on and 1 pedal off, and then you press a button and you can have 3 pedals on and 2 pedals off. You can just have whatever you want, and you've only got to use 1 foot or 1 toe at a time. It's wonderful, really. So I don't know, I should probably show you the board. Do you want to see my face? I'm not even live, I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm going to flip the camera over and point it at the board, and then you can see what's going on. Give us a bloody minute. Alright then, pedal board. Is that recording? Yeah. Sorry if that looks dodgy. I don't know anything about making videos, really. But I have mic'd everything up nice. So I got a V7X microphone on my bass cab, and then a DI coming out of my guitar cab, which seems backwards, but the DI on my bass amp doesn't work very well. And there is a DI output on my guitar head, which is really useful, and it sounds great. Anyway, so here's all my pedals. These reverb, the super shifter, and the bass preamp aren't going through this, but everything else is. So basically, guitar comes in, it's got 2 inputs, so I've got a bank with all my Alcahez settings on it, and then I bank up with a second guitar plugged into the other input, which is really useful if I break a string or whatever. It means I can just bank up and then grab my other guitar, and everything else is ready to go. It's bloody lovely. So yeah, that's that. So you basically plug all your pedals into each of the loops. The loops down the back here. So I've got I think the super shifter's going into 1. Did I say that wasn't going through this? That is going into this. Super shifter's going into input 1, and input 1 is on every patch, because it does this noise, which is fucking cool, and I want to be able to do that on all my patches. So that's going into every patch. Input 2 is the Holy Island Audio Abracadabra, which is just horrid in a box. It's probably my favourite ever pedal. Definitely in my top 3 if it ain't the favourite. I fucking love it. It's great. Made by my pal who lives out in Wales for Holy Island Audio. Everyone go buy some of his stuff. Plug, plug, plug. Give me an endorsement. Cheers, mate. What else we got? This was built by a friend of mine. It's a Rat and an Acapulco Gold in the same box, and they go into each other, and that's more horrid in a box. That's great. Good old Pog. Everyone knows a Pog. Octave generator jobby. Bass overdrive, which goes into a noise killer. They're in the same loop. So yeah, that's in loop 1, that's in loop 2, that's in loop 3, that's in loop 4, those 2 are in loop 5, and the phaser over here is in loop 6. And then basically all you do on each of these patches in each bank, you just put whatever combination of pedals you want, and you can assign them in whatever order you like and put them to whatever output you want. You can run them in parallel loops with each other, which I do loads of because I use 2 amps. So basically the general rule is my Rat always goes to my guitar amp, and my bass overdrive always goes to the bass amp. The Pog is always in the same, on the bass amp side as well as this. That always goes to both amps. That always just goes to the guitar amp. That always just goes to the guitar amp. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Alcahez. And then there's, I'll do another one of these videos, but for when I play bass. And then it's all the same shit, but in different orders and whatnot. The best thing about this is that I don't have to keep fucking changing my pedal board whenever I'm going between Alcahez stuff or, you know, whatever else I'm doing. So that's me clean. And then here's D clean. And that's basically just the guitar amp, and then guitar amp and bass amp. So there's some bits where I'll be like playing a nice little, and I want to turn it down a bit. I'll just go down to 1 amp. Simple. So dual just takes you to the Rat going to the guitar amp. So there's nothing coming out of the bass amp on this. And then with the Gold, you just get a lovely bit of feedback on top, and that's all well and good. And then main is exactly the same, that going to the guitar amp, and then the bass overdrive going to the bass amp. And this is my kind of main distortion sound for Alcahez. Yes, that's that. Main and Pog is exactly the same as this loop, but it's got the Pog in the chain before the bass overdrive. So you got. And then all is the same as that, but with the abracadabra before the rat on the guitar amp side. Gold on the top. Banging. And the great thing about this is I can go to clean and it just, because it kills the loops, there's no noise, so I don't need noise suppressors anymore. I mean, I do have one in the loop with the bass overdrive, and that's for when I'm playing bass, because there's a few songs in the band that I play bass in where I need the distortion, but there's a lot of sparseness between the notes, so I don't want all the fuzz to come through. But for Alcahest it doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't need a noise suppressor on my guitar side of the rig anymore, which is great. I don't need a load of fucking ABY selectors anymore for sending these to different amps, which is bloody great. I don't need an input selector anymore. So what I was on about earlier with having the banks when I need to switch guitars, I can just have them both plugged in all the time, ready to go. It's bloody lovely, really. And it also means there's a phaser that I use a couple of tracks on. So I've got me clean air, bank up. There's no sound coming through because that's my backup Alcahest setting. So this is the other input back down here underneath is plugged in now. So if I had a second guitar, then now that would be coming out. I got a couple of bass patches. Again, we'll do them later. And then my other Alcahest patch is the same. All of these are the same. You got your dual again. Lovely work. And now up here I've got dual plus phaser. And I got my main sound plus a phaser, with the phaser just going through the rat to the guitar. And that's that. And I think that about covers it. Oh, there was a couple of other clean-ish sounds. Yeah, so there's one Alcahest song that uses a different POG setting. I've got that up here. Just has a nice bit of glassiness. Yeah, that's about it. The reverb isn't in a loop. The reverb is so that on the guitar side, output 1 goes to the reverb before it goes to my output patch bay on the back here. And that's basically because if I have it in a loop, when I go to the tuner mute, it cuts all the loops, and this has got a sustain function on it. So if I just get a bit of... So that will keep, if I had that in a loop, the reverb, it will cut that off. So I have it going to the output, and it also means I can kind of turn it on and off when I want, because I tend to change my mind when I want the bleeding reverb going. So that happens, and it means I can leave the sustain going when I'm tuning up, so there's never any silence in between songs, which is really bloody useful. Yeah, and that's about it. Obviously, I've got my preamp at the top that you can see. I don't use that in Alcahest. It's just kind of always on, but because this is a board I use for everything, it's there. My bass distortion sound is on that. Again, it's not in a patch, it's just routed straight to the output because I play with distorted bass sound pretty much 99% of the time. There's like 2 bridges that I go to a clean sound when I'm playing bass. But yeah, that's the ins and outs of it. I'm just gonna pick the camera up. There we go. Let's do that. Alright. So that's me bass board. My guitar board, my baritone board. It's just my board, innit? With all me jobbies on it. Cheers then. Shout out to everyone on who's made pedals on this thing. I'll guess an endorsement. You know, give me some shit. I'm not even. You know, you got to ask on it, but you know it's never going to happen. Massive shout out again to Holy Island Audio for making one of the most fucking outrageous pedals I've ever seen in my life. I keep looking at myself and then looking into the thing. I'll look over it, then it looks like I'm talking to you. Yeah, Abracadabra, fantastic fucking pedal, big fucking vibes. Everyone go and check out Holy Island Audio and buy some scuzzy horrible fucking noises, because they bloody don't know how to make them as well as they, I tell ya. Yeah, that's about it. Cheers, brush your teeth, drink plenty of water, Tell someone you love that you love them. Be good. See you bloody buggers down the line, innit? Cheers, man. Fuck me!